Hello, so what we're looking at today is an Andy Goldsworthy inspired artwork, but we're also going to look at kind of some maths aspects as well. We're going to look at some terminology and look at some transformation around about the year 4 year level. But basically this is what we're going to create and we'll talk it through as we go along. You can see here that I've got basically two photos here, so we get the kids to go out and take some photos kind of from a bird's eye point of view, looking at very flat images if possible. And then we're going to use Explain Everything to put it all together with some different backgrounds and so forth. So let's go through it. We'll make a start and we'll do it from scratch. So the first lesson we actually got the kids to do was actually to go around and take some photos of different pieces of nature, bark, leaves, different things. So one of the first things that we can do is I always let my kids have a bit of an explore of the toolbox here. This is not something that we do in one lesson. We give them plenty of time to experiment, look at the back arrow, see what works and what doesn't, and what each of the different tools do. But I've already taken my picture, so I'm going to go to existing image. I'll add an existing image there, and hopefully it'll go to my camera roll. And what we'll do is we'll bring in our background. Oh, by the way, some images there that I've actually done here that I've found of Andy's work are really great to kind of give the kids an idea of what we're actually doing. So some wonderful images there that you could actually use if you Google search some of Andy's work. Let's go to the next page just so that we can start creating this. So what I'll do is I'll go to my images and we'll bring in that image of the tree trunk, which is here. And what we'll do is we'll just press done. We'll give it a bit of a pinch to make it nice and big so it fits up my whole screen. And then we'll press the little eye on the side. And what we'll actually do there is we'll press over to lock. Sorry, I need to tap it first. We'll actually lock that or set it as a background. You could probably do that as well, so we don't have it moving when the kids actually bring it in. Now to actually create the art. So what we're actually going to do here is add just one of our images. And I think it was the last leaf there. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger, so this is a really good tip for the kids to do. And then we're on the left-hand side, you can see the lasso tool there. It's in blue now. And just tracing very carefully around the outskirts of it. And press apply. That looks pretty good. And what we can do there is we can start to position them. So if I put it there, and I press my eye again, and I press my leaf, what I can actually do is a few things. So I might actually say, right, I want to duplicate that. And then what I want to do is rotate it 90 degrees. So what we're doing now is we're starting to use the terminologies with the kids about some of the transformation like rotations and flips and turns and so forth. And we can do that again. So we could repeat that process where we tap on something, we duplicate it, and then we can rotate again, because that's going to become important when we actually have a look at the maths concepts inspired. And then it's just a case of actually layering the different aspects of it. So I'm just kind of duplicating this to show you that I'm using my tools. It's pretty easy to do. And then you'll notice that with some of my tools, some of my photos, I've just added a filter. So we talk to kids about filters. So this is kind of like a sepia black and white. I'll make bigger. And this time I'll need to just quickly sketch around it again. Oh, that's not too great. Press apply and done. It's not as good there. And then you can see it's just that layering process of layering to and fro and so on. So when you're actually finished and you've produced a great piece of Andy Goldsworthy inspired art, you can start to teach some of these concepts to do with maths. So you could say, let's look at lines of symmetry. Let's look at what a flip maybe is. So we could actually flip up or down. We could actually turn it left or right. We can duplicate and do all those different things. How do we do that? The reason why I've used Explain Everything is we can get kids to start to look at, let me just move this one out of the way, identifying what they've actually done. So in red here, we might say, okay, circle the two leaves that have a rotation of 90 degrees and circle them in red. So you could actually circle them in red. You could say put a green line through the parts that are symmetrical, and then there might not be any symmetrical parts there. You could do what are the bits that actually have a flip, and you could actually do that in a different colour as well, or you could actually point to it or so on. So we're creating this wonderful art, but at the end of it, once we've done a little bit of the teaching with transformation, we can actually get the kids to identify what is a flip, what is a rotation, and so on. And so one of the things that we can also do, if I just go back to my original artwork here, we can say, where are the turns, where are the flips, but we can also say, ask the kids, where aren't there lines of symmetry? You can actually ask the negative kind of question so that they can actually tell us what that actually is. So you can say, okay, where is a turn of 90 degrees or a rotation of 90 degrees, but where isn't a rotation of 90 degrees? So get them to think about the alternative options as well. I hope you found that useful. I use Explain Everything, really good photo editing kind of aspects. You can see there that I've got a lot of projects